Hey, family. Welcome into another edition of Make Every Second Count Live with me, your host and international award winning Make Every Second Count speaker, Jeff Marconette Jr. But I am so pumped up again tonight, and I know I'm always pumped up, and that probably gets a little annoying to you, but whatever. But I have a great guest tonight, and she is going to be teaching us how she lives her best life despite dealing with health issues. So I ask you if you would please share this video out, comment on this video. We want to have a conversation, not just make a presentation, and also give us all kinds of likes, hearts, frowny faces, cry faces. Heck, you can even get mad at us. I don't care. Just help us trick the algorithm on any of the socials that we're on. So, with no further ado, I would like to bring to the stage Purple. Oh, I mean Violet. Hi, Violet. How are you doing?
I love that purple. Hey, Jeff, how's it going? Thank you so much
It,
for having me.
I didn't even notice before the show, but you match your shirt.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. So if you would like to go ahead and introduce yourself, tell everybody who you are, where you're from, and what you do. I'm going to be inviting a few people and sharing this episode out. So I'll be looking down, but I'm still paying attention.
Sure. Well, thank you so much. And my name is Violet Detre. I'm a two-time best-selling author. I'm a speaker. Also, I'm a Christian business coach. And like I was telling you earlier in the green room, I guess, backstage, um, yeah, we were prior military. So my husband just retired right before the pandemic, and we're living in San Antonio, Texas.
That's pretty cool. So, what's the temperature down there in Texas today?
120, something like that.
Oh my
No, I'm
gosh.
kidding. No, it doesn't actually get that warm here. It gets that warm back home. But it's probably, I'd say, maybe in the 90s today. It's been a little cool because it's been raining.
Well, that's a good thing that it's been a little cool because 120, I'd be done for. That you
Yes.
wouldn't catch me dead outside,
I
or
will,
or you would catch me dead outside.
well, I will never complain about the heat again because I've lived in Germany and Colorado, and we had enough of that cold. And so we ran away back down south to where it's nice and warm and a lot more pleasant weather for us.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So I know personally that life has a way of throwing things in your way and making it difficult to do things and trying to be a burden to you. But you see, I was in a car accident when I was 17. I spent 2.5 months in a coma and 3.5 in the hospital. I was not supposed to be walking right now, but I am. And I want to show everybody that you can make it through anything you were going through. You just have to do these certain things and figure out that there's more to life than a lot of people think. But so I believe that we have to grow through certain things in order to get to living our best life. So has there been anything that you have had to grow through?
No, I'm totally immune.
Oh,
Life has been peaches and roses my whole life.
that would be pretty awesome.
That would be awesome too, right? I believe so
Yeah.
too. But yes, I love your movement, Jeff. Make every second count. And I think that is so important because I have had, numerous challenges throughout my life. And I know tonight we're going to talk about one of those, which is my health issues that I've been struggling with since I was very, very young. And doctors thought that, because there was a point in time where I was living at the hospital. I was there, early in the morning, and they did multiple tests on me, trying to figure out what it was. They thought I was crazy. I was a hypochondriac. They threw pills at me, then they came up with these diagnoses. They can only do the best that they can, and I guess they're not educated enough to be able to dig deeper and find the deeper things that people are going through health wise. So they try to put a band-aid on, all these symptoms that I had. But like you said, we got to make every second count. It's very important because, we're only here for a limited time and we got to make the most of it.
Yeah, that is so true. So I need to say hello to a few people here. We have Damien Huber in the comments. He says, "Good to see you, Jeff." And I know he appreciates you being on here too, Violet. And then we have Ben Bruce, who is a loyal fan of the show, and he's from Lagos, Nigeria. So he says, "Hello, everyone. It's a real pleasure to be here once again." And then we have Amy Lee in the house. It's good to see you, Amy. She says, "Hi, y'all." And
Hey,
then
y'all. Yeehaw.
and
That's
my
Texan
dad
right there.
my dad is in the house, and Sam Seymour is in the house, and Sam was on here a few weeks ago. I appreciate you watching, Sam. So I understand that you have had a lot of health issues, and they couldn't figure those out. And you said a little bit about they might not have been educated as much to diagnose you. So, how exactly did you get diagnosed if they weren't the proper doctors for that?
Well, thank God. I was attending a church because since we were military, we moved around quite a bit. And then we finally ended up in Fort Myers, Florida, which is on the west coast of Florida. And we started attending this church there, which was a really cool church. And I was chatting with one of the ladies there, and she was telling me about her son who had some type of autism. He was on the autism spectrum, and she was very high into naturopathic things, homeopathic things, dealing with things the natural way. And she told me that she knew a naturopathic doctor. So I told her about all my symptoms and how frustrated it had been, and how much trouble I've had with doctors, thinking that I'm crazy. And you feel crazy when you have all these symptoms and then they tell you first that nothing's wrong, and then these other things are wrong with you, and you're on all these pills, which make you feel worse. So I checked out the naturopathic doctor that she recommended, and he did deeper tests. There were and it was a simple test. You just go to the same place that I've always gone to go get gallons of blood drawn out. But this time they did the correct test, and the doctor said, "Oh, I know exactly what's wrong with you."
Wow, that is so cool. And how exactly did it make you feel when somebody was able to tell you exactly what was wrong with you?
Oh my gosh, it was such a relief. I didn't know if to cry or laugh. I just felt like a human. I felt like I'm not crazy. You have all these symptoms and you're like, maybe I am making them up. Maybe it is just me. But then you find out, first of all, there is something going on. And second of all, wow, I may be able to do something about it. So a lot of hope when you get the right answers.
I like something you said there. So you said that it made you feel like you weren't going crazy, and it gives you some reassurance that there was an issue, and he could hopefully solve that issue or give you some relief from that issue. Is that correct?
Exactly. Because when you're going through this, if you can only imagine, I was a gifted and talented student. I was in the top classes. They gave us the most money because they thought we were, they had a lot of potential. So we got the best equipment and everything. But then to not be able to do what your peers are doing. My peers were doing all these extracurricular activities, having fun outside of just doing the regular schoolwork. But me, I stayed at home and I was fatigued all the time. And you just feel different. So, how do you fit in when everybody else has all this other stuff in their life going on, having a full life? And it didn't just it didn't stop there. It continued on for decades until finally, I don't know, maybe like 20, 30 years later, I haven't done the math. Finally, it's like, oh, wow, there is something going on. They put a name to it, and we're going to be able to tackle this issue together.
That is so good. And what was your prognosis, if I can ask? I mean, I don't want to be too intrusive here.
No, I'm told I love to share, whatever I can because I found out that the more that I share, that more people say me too. And they feel normalized and they feel also that they might be able to get help.
Yeah.
So it wasn't necessarily just one issue. One thing that he did tell me was that he looked deep into my cell, into the mitochondria, and he actually used all these, biology terms that I wasn't very familiar with. But he had a little chart. He tried to explain to me, this is where we get our energy from, and it gets translated into this to go into the other cells. So that was one thing, was the mitochondria. And then I was in adrenal fatigue. I believe it was stage 2, which thank God that we caught it at that point in time,
Yeah.
because sometimes it could be irreversible if it goes worse, and you can have health problems and just heart problems. But I wasn't at that point, so they got me at a good time where we can. It'll be easier to do some homeopathic remedies and the things that he recommended, so they'll be able to work on it and reverse it. So
that
those are
now
some of
that
the things that he mentioned.
that is really cool that somebody was able to help you do that. But I need to say hi to Lucy, who was also a guest on this show previously. And then Amy Lee, hang on, I gotta switch screens here. Just said that you can't absorb salt or retain moisture later on. So I can't say I understand that, but um I don't know. I'm sorry, Amy. If you can please explain that a little bit better, I would appreciate it. But I need everybody who is out there watching right now to do me a favor. If you can all hit the like button at least 5 times, I would appreciate it. And then remember, if you have any questions, don't feel bad about asking them, because we want to have more of a conversation than just make a presentation. So I thank you guys so much. But I have to ask, how can someone who is having issues with their health, how can they live their best life?
Well, for one of the things that I never did was I sought the answer. So I didn't settle for being non-functional, not being able to get out of bed, not being able to stay awake for more than a few hours a day. Just standing for a few minutes was so painful. Even though I was thin my whole life, walking was so painful. Plantar fasciitis, the inflammation, and all that. And I could have, just given up and said, well, this is how I'm going to end up the rest of my life. But you may not have tried everything. So keep continuing to try to find solutions, because you never know, they might be out there. And another thing is being able to get support. I have a supportive husband. My family has always been supportive. They would come and travel to visit me. They would do their best, to try to communicate with me and encourage me no matter what was going on. But one of the biggest things for me was reframing my mind. Because when you get to a place when you don't have health, it's a place of, crisis. And when you don't have your health, it's the only thing you can focus on. It's like Maslow's hierarchy of needs, like water, like air, like when you don't have those basic needs met, how are you supposed to do everything else? So I had to reframe my mind from thinking that I was useless, reframe my mind from different lies, thinking that I was a burden to everybody, reframing my
Oh,
mind that it would be better for everybody if I was, not here. Um, Feeling like I was alone, which, when I look back 2020, it wasn't true because of all those things that I said before. My family was very supportive, loving. They loved me, whether my brain functioned or not, because there was a point where I couldn't really remember or understand what people were saying to me. My brain would only hang on to the last word that somebody had told me. So the rest of the sentence is poof, you know. So just reframing all those lies and not falling into that pit, and thinking all these negative things about myself.
yeah, that is fantastic. So we're here tonight with Violet. Oh man, now I'm gonna mess it up again. So Detre.
That's very good. It's actually French in origin, but my husband's family Americanized it, so they just say Dietrich, just so everybody here can pronounce it better.
All right, so we are here with Violet Detre, and she is telling us how she lives her best life after dealing with health issues. And she tells me that she's not completely back to normal or healed as of yet. And is that right?
Yes, well, I'm a totally new woman because of reframing my mind, because of being under naturopathic doctor's care for, I want to say, over 10 years. So I don't know, I want to say 90% better because I know there's a whole, there's a 10 more percent more to go. But wow, the drastic changes that have happened, I'm no longer in pain all the time. I can actually exercise, which, before I could barely move. I felt like the Tin Man in the Wizard of Oz that could barely move. And now I can exercise, which helps you to feel better. And yeah, so my life has turned around, but I know there's a little bit more to go.
That is so I'm so happy to hear that. I appreciate the doctors that are able to help you get back to at least some sense of normalcy. So I have to say Amy Lee said in the comments that adrenal exhaustion. You can drink but stay thirsty because you don't absorb salt and it wreaks havoc with your system. I guess that's
Mhm.
what she meant. So thank you so much, Amy. And then we have Damien Huber in the comments saying he'll have to rewatch this when he gets back because he has to go right now. But have a good one, Jeff and Violet. I hope you two have a good night.
Oh, thank you,
Thank you,
Damien.
Damien. He's actually like eighth grader, so it's really cool. I was able to go into his school and talk to him when he was in the sixth grade, and it was really cool. So I'm oh, hang on here. I gotta bring something up. So I have a picture, and this picture it's kind of amazing. So, can you see this picture?
Yes,
All
that's me now.
right. So, you know this picture, huh?
Wow, that just brings tears to my eyes because it's like, look where I am now. From where
Yeah.
I was, barely functioning, couldn't get out of bed, to now being able to meet all these awesome people.
Yeah, and I just want to show you something, guys, that because she grew through her situation of health issues, she is able to do this stuff now. So whatever you are going through at the present moment, if it is health issues, if it's not health issues, whatever it is, hang on. It's going to get better. I promise. There is light at the end of the tunnel. Trust me, because she lives her best life now. I mean, she is here with Jack Canfield, I think, right?
Yes.
And Les Brown. And I'm trying to pick out faces that I know, but those are the only two that I know.
At the top is Tom Ziegler. He was on my summit for Christian suicide prevention.
Well, yeah, I know him. Son of
Yeah.
Zig, right?
Yeah.
All right. That's awesome. And what's the bottom right picture with you and two guys, and it looks like an award of some sort?
Yeah, that's my Quilly Award for the first book that I wrote in collaboration with Brian Tracy, and those are the publishers. They're
That
actually producers, and yeah.
that is amazing. So I'm curious about one other thing as well. So you have some books there in the background that I can see. So, can you tell us a little bit about those and then possibly let us know how we can get a hold of those books? Because I want everybody to be able to live their best life no matter what they're dealing with.
Exactly. And you can do that now, no matter what stage you're at. There's always
Exactly.
something that you can do, and just starting small. Do what you can do now and then build on top of that. And my first book, this is the one that I wrote with Brian Tracy,
Ready.
collaboration. I wrote one chapter in it. It was when I first was like, oh my gosh, I'm feeling better. I need to share this with the world. How do I do it? And this was going from not being, it would take me half a day to build a 21 word sentence in college because we had to do discussion boards. So I went from that to being able to write a whole chapter. And this is my newest book, 52 Ways to Do Business and Life in Joy, because there is power in doing things joyfully with fun. And it just makes it so much easier, faster, because, stress is the number one cause of disease in the world. But when you put joy into everything, joy is a procrastination killer. Joy can help you with everything. So that's why I call myself a happiness advocate, because you know I put in a lot of happiness strategies and using those happy hormones. I don't know if you've heard of them, Jeff.
Yep. Endorphins, dopamine, serotonin, and oh, what's the fourth one?
It's oxytocin, and there's also norepinephrine and
So
GABA.
there's five of them, six of them. I don't
Yeah.
know, but I named a few there.
And we only have two eyes, we have four limbs, but we have six happy hormones. So
Yeah,
our creator must have known how important it is to be happy.
yeah, and I want to point something out to you. So Amy Lee in the comments says, "Violet, so proud of you for continuing to seek answers until you found them. Natural medicine saved me as well."
Mm.
Amy is a very awesome lady. I met her in Kansas City. Well, might have been St. Louis, but she's awesome. She's a caretaker of somebody that can't take care of themselves, and she's just amazing of a person. So she's really cool. But so I'm curious how exact. Oh, I met her in KC. All right. So, how exactly can people get a hold of your books?
Um, well, this book right here with both of us on the cover, you would have to reach out to me personally, but there is one with just Brian Tracy on the cover and then all the other authors on the back. That one is on Amazon, and this one also is on Amazon. It's Kindle and also print.
That's so good. My journal is also on Kindle, so it's really cool as well. You can see my journal. Right, man, this is difficult right there. But my journal is really cool. I love it, and I'd talk about that, but this show is about you, not me. So my I have one other question. Do you happen to have any contact information you would like people out there to have?
They can always just go to my website. It's www.violetdetre.com. So,
It's pretty easy.
yeah, violetdetre.com. Or on Instagram, violet_Detre.
VioletDetre.com or Violet_Detre. And Violet is Violet. Detre is Detre. All right? Cool. Well, I need each and every person out there to do me a favor this week, next week, and for the rest of your life. I need you to make every second count. Why? Because you never know when those seconds are going to run out on your one life. So I'll see you guys back here next Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And thank you again, Violet, for taking time out of your busy evening.
Thank you so much, Jeff. And thanks, everybody.
Have a great night.